Welcome, friends, to my memory lane, a place where memories come alive. And stories from the heart remind us of the love, laughter, and lessons passed down through generations. Today, we have a story about a grandfather and the simple, joyful gift he gave his grandson. The art of whistling. Sit back, relax, and let this story carry you through nostalgia, warmth, and a touch of faith. Ethan had always loved visiting his grandparents in the small town of Maplewood, Ohio. The streets smelled of fresh pine in winter and lilacs in spring. But what he loved most was spending time with his grandfather, Samuel. Grandpa Samuel had a quiet presence. His hands were rough from decades of carpentry, yet gentle when he held Ethan. And his eyes always seemed to twinkle with secrets waiting to be shared. One summer morning, as sunlight streamed through the kitchen window, Ethan sat across from his grandfather at the worn wooden table. The smell of pancakes filled the room. Grandpa hummed a tune softly as he flipped the golden stacks. "Grandpa?" Ethan asked. "How come you can make music without any instruments?"
Samuel smiled, tapping his fingers on the table.
"That, my boy, is whistling, and I think it's time you learned." Ethan's eyes widened with excitement and curiosity. Grandpa Samuel led him to the porch, where the morning air was fresh and the birds chirped in harmony. "Whistling isn't just about sound," Grandpa said. "It's about patience, listening, and opening your heart." Ethan nodded, though he wasn't sure he understood. He just knew he wanted to make music like Grandpa. "First, you need to shape your lips," Grandpa explained. He puckered his lips and blew softly, producing a small, clear note. Ethan tried, but only a weak, airy sound came out. Grandpa chuckled, ruffling his hair. "You're trying too hard, Ethan." "Whistling is like prayer," he said gently. "You just breathe and let it flow." Ethan took a deep breath, feeling a sense of calm as he exhaled. Over the next few days, they practiced every morning. The sun rose over the maple trees, casting golden light on their little porch. Ethan's squeaks slowly turned into something resembling a tune. Grandpa Samuel told stories of his own childhood while teaching. He spoke of summers fishing by the creek, of the church choir he had once sung with, and of moments when a simple song had lifted his spirits. Ethan listened, mesmerized, learning not just the notes, but the emotions behind them. Music, he realized, was a language of the heart. One afternoon, Ethan's grandmother joined them on the porch, knitting a scarf for winter. "Samuel," she said with a twinkle, "are you teaching him to whistle or to charm the birds?" Grandpa laughed, his deep voice echoing. Ethan giggled too, enjoying the warmth of family and gentle humor. Some days, Ethan struggled and felt frustrated. No matter how hard he tried, the whistling refused to cooperate. Grandpa Samuel would place a hand on his shoulder and say, "Even God's greatest gifts take time to grow. Be patient, my boy." Ethan closed his eyes, feeling comforted, and tried again. By the end of the week, Ethan could whistle a simple melody. It wasn't perfect, but it was his own. Grandpa's eyes glistened with pride. "Music is everywhere," Grandpa said, "in the rustling leaves, in laughter, in prayer. Whistling helps you hear it." Ethan nodded, understanding more than words could say. He felt connected to something greater than himself. One rainy afternoon, the power went out, leaving the house in darkness. Ethan and Grandpa sat by the fireplace, the wind tapping against the windows. Grandpa began to whistle a tune he had learned from his father, a song full of hope and resilience. Ethan joined in, his notes trembling but brave. Soon, the melody filled the room, replacing the fear of the storm with warmth and courage. In that moment, Ethan realized whistling was more than sound. It was comfort, faith, and family, all wrapped together. As summer passed, Ethan's skill grew. He could now whistle entire songs, from joyful tunes to quiet, reflective melodies. Each note carried the memory of afternoons on the porch, laughter echoing in the sun, and Grandpa's gentle guidance. Grandpa Samuel also taught him the spiritual side of music. Songs and whistling can be prayers too, he said softly. Sometimes, when words fail, music carries your heart to God. Ethan tried it one evening, whistling a small hymn he had learned in church. The sound lingered in the air like a soft blessing. One weekend, the family hosted a small reunion. Cousins, and neighbors gathered in the yard. Grandpa called Ethan to the front porch. "Time to share your gift," he said. Ethan felt a flutter of nerves, but he remembered Grandpa's words. He whistled a simple tune, the same one that had comforted him during the storm. The crowd fell silent, listening, smiles spreading across faces. Even the birds seemed to pause and join in. Afterward, his grandmother hugged him tightly. "You've made your grandfather proud, dear," she whispered. Ethan beamed. "I learned from the best," he said, hugging Grandpa Samuel. Grandpa's eyes shone with tears of joy. Years passed, and Ethan grew into a young man. College, jobs, and city life pulled him away from Maplewood. But every time he returned home, he and Grandpa would sit on the porch, whistling together as if no time had passed. The tradition had become their secret language, a bridge across the years. One summer, Grandpa Samuel fell ill. The house felt quieter without his usual laughter. Ethan spent long days at his side, whistling songs they had shared for decades. Grandpa's hand squeezed his gently, a silent thank you for carrying the melody forward. Before he passed, Grandpa whispered, "Ethan, never stop whistling. Let it remind you of love, patience, and faith." Ethan nodded, tears streaming down his face. He promised, knowing that a piece of his grandfather would always live in each note. Afterward, Ethan returned to the porch alone. He closed his eyes and let the melodies flow, each one carrying a memory, a laugh, and a blessing. The music felt like a hug from the past, wrapping him in comfort and hope. Later, Ethan taught his own children to whistle. He told them stories of Grandpa Samuel, the man who had shown him that simple things, like a song in the wind, could hold deep meaning. The tradition continued, weaving faith,